Welcome to our Go Moment today. Hey, listen, I just want to let you know this will be our last Go Moment for May. Starting June, we're going to move the Go Moments to a monthly view on Thursdays. And so we're really looking forward to a little bit of a change out. And we hope you'll stay with us. Check us out on YouTube. We'll give you a notification on Facebook, but you can go to our Instagram, but it's really good to view it on YouTube. So we'll hope you stay with us and enjoy meeting our missionaries and other folks that we have joining us for our Go Moments. But you may all know this couple. This is Jerry and Cheryl Gottesman, been with Christian Life Center for 14 years. Is there any area of ministry you really haven't done, you guys?
I don't think so.
Just off the bat. So. Like, really? I mean, you've been here for so long, you just move in and out of stuff as needs come, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so Jerry just became our board member this last year, actually, not this year. Last
2 years ago.
Has it been 2 years already?
Yeah.
Is our board member. And Jerry also works our security. Jerry helps with some of the design work that we do here at the church. Cheryl, you've been working with women's ministry and children's church and
youth,
student ministries, and all kinds of different things. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything, you guys? I mean, currently this is kind of what you're doing is students now, right?
Students and the kids once a month.
Once a month with children too.
And the women's whenever
necessary, when we have an event needed. Yeah. And you also have 3 children who have been babies on up here, right?
Yeah, we started attending when Victoria was 3 and Jerry was maybe 9 months old.
Yeah, that's so young.
Yeah.
And who else of your family attends here?
My parents.
Your parents, yeah.
They've been coming the same amount of time.
Yeah, we all came.
Did you all come together?
We came together.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, how did you hear about Christian Life Center? How did that come about real quick?
So, my dad found out through the Ambassadors for Christ. Riding motorcycle ministry. And then the church we were going to, the pastor left. So we were kind of like, where are we going to go? And my dad said, hey, let's try out Christian Life Center.
Okay.
I think the first Sunday we came, we were like, this is the place.
Yeah, we never went anywhere else.
Wow. Well, you know what the reason why I asked these two to do a Go Moment, because in living the mission, God is so unique in his design and creativity for us to share the gospel. And what I love about these two is they both really have kind of a marketplace ministry. Jerry is a graphic designer. He runs his own business. And you do serve a lot of churches in that.
I do.
But at the same time, this is also the way you're providing for your children. And, this is what God's actually really asked you to do.
Yeah.
And same way with you, Cheryl. You volunteered a lot of time, and you did a little stints of entrepreneurialism in other areas.
Yeah.
Always had this desire kind of to have your own business for a long time, and now you do.
Yeah.
So I thought what I would do is I want you to hear their story about how God kind of moved on them to have their own business, how it affects church life, and how it all works together for the good. It's amazing how God works it all out. So Jerry, let's start with you a little bit. When did you make the transition to be how did God lead you, let me say, to be your own business owner?
So it's going to be 7 years.
7 years. You've been in business by yourself.
Yeah. So I had the vision probably 2012. But I don't think I had the guts to actually do it.
Yeah.
So I actually got laid off. I got laid off from my job 7 years ago. And it was tough, but it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders at the same time. But God just provided. There were times we didn't even know how we were going to pay our mortgage. But, things would happen. We would get like a refund from
in the mail
randomly from a bill they said we overpaid, and like just different things. I remember that one Christmas someone like gave us a gift card just in the mail from an address in California. And to this day we have no idea. So thank you if you're listening.
If you're watching, he's blessed. Thank you.
And all it said was like,
moved him forward.
God bless the Gottesmans.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was a nice gift card. So
Jerry, how did you know? You got laid off, and here you are, like you could have looked for work though. You were an experienced designer. It wasn't like you didn't have, you're trained. What was the shift where you felt like God just said, okay, Jerry, this is what I really want you to do? Where did that shift come in? How did you know it was time to kind of leap out of the boat?
So prior to that, being laid off, excuse me, I think I went on about half a dozen interviews.
Okay.
Every one of them got turned down. So I was like, okay, God, what now?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing was just being obedient and consistent.
Yeah, that's really good.
And he would open different doors and close other doors, and just by knowing by the things he showed me.
Yeah.
So
you kept just kind of taking that step of faith.
Yes.
And just kept doing it. I love that consistency and obedience. That is a powerful truth to living the mission, but also being a mature believer.
Yes.
Those are the things that keep us solid in the times of uncertainty, of staying consistent. Yeah.
Looking back, it was like, oh, if I would have went this way too soon.
Right. You have more wisdom now looking back that how God actually really guided you in that difficult time.
Yes.
Your kids were pretty young then too.
Victoria was
10 or
10.
Yeah. So those kids have a lot of needs at those ages. I don't know though. It gets more money as they get older. So I don't know. It's all a trade-off, right?
Yeah. During that time, he had been dreaming and planning of owning his own business and being out on his own. And after he got laid off, a lot of doors opened for him to do freelance work.
That's right. I do remember that. You did a lot of just not really starting your business, but just started freelancing and trying to help people. Yeah. So it was like a step for you. God just gave you this step into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was the number one fear you did have to conquer?
I would say finances. Worry. That was worry. The toughest thing because a wife, 3 kids, a mortgage.
Yeah. So it wasn't really the fear of failure. It was just the fear of not having the money to do the things you needed to do to provide for your family.
Correct.
Because it's a different thing.
But 7 years, we've never been late on a bill, let alone missed a bill.
That is awesome, actually.
Yeah, God has been so good.
Okay, Cheryl, tell us about you. Now, the first time I met you, because you're a Susie Homemaker type of girl. And so, so you were starting a cooking business and trying to do catering and things like that. It was the first time I met you.
Yes.
You did something for a women's...
a friend of mine and I started our own little catering business, and we catered a women's event here.
Yeah, that's right.
I have dabbled in a lot have areas. Serving in ministry and pursuing different career paths. I have a degree in accounting, so that's my profession by trade.
Yeah.
But I love to cook, so we tried the catering for a little while. That didn't work out the way I had hoped, so I stepped away, and then I did crafting for a while. I used to have a table at the women's craft fair for the women's ministry, and I had served in kids ministry and women's ministry. I started serving in MOPS when my kids were little, and just formed a love of encouraging women.
Yeah.
Over those years. And then when the church started the Connect groups, I've always loved to exercise. I love to eat too, but I always love to move my body.
Yeah, this is how I'm going to handle that, right?
Yeah. So I started a Connect group with just a bunch of ladies. We would meet together. I would share a little devotional, and we would move our bodies together. We'd exercise. And I came across a ministry called Revelation Wellness. And they had instructor training, and I initially was like, this is it. I'm already kind of doing what this ministry is about. Sharing devotionals, sharing the love of Jesus, and moving your bodies together. But the training was expensive, and we weren't really in agreement the first time. About 4 years ago with moving forward with that, because he's had only been on his own for 3 years. it was a big financial
And you had
commitment.
a steady income because you were bookkeeping at the time,
Yes.
and everything kind of had a rhythm. Sometimes we just, you know, in living the mission, you guys, sometimes there has to be a disruption to the rhythm, which is actually that step of faith into the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's not always comfortable.
No. So I waited 3 years and prayed for 3 years.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long, Cheryl.
And then August of 2019, I saw the advertisement for Revelation Wellness Instructor Training again, and I was like, Lord, just put it on Jerry's heart to say yes, that this is now is the time. And we had a conversation. I just slipped it in the conversation without like directly saying, I really think now is the time. And he was like, yeah, do it. Do it. So I went through this training. So Revelation Wellness is a ministry that uses fitness as a tool to share the gospel. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I created Redeemed Wellness, which is a ministry business that does just that. I use fitness as a tool to share the gospel. So
and you do stuff online.
Yep.
You do stuff in person.
So I got my
a Connect group going.
Yes, I got my certification in November of 2019, and I didn't really do anything with it originally, like starting off, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, okay, what am I meant to do now? Like,
how are we going to do this? Yes.
And a friend encouraged me to start doing Zoom workouts. And oh my gosh, was it such a blessing for me in itself, just digging into God's word and then sharing that with the ladies and then exercising together. It was so what I needed. And then from getting feedback from the ladies, it was such a blessing to them too. Being cooped up, in our homes, not really being able to do anything and getting to connect that way.
So kind of, it's like the ruffling of the nest. Sort of, the nest isn't comfortable anymore. You kind of got to get out and fly. You know how eagles,
and I think that's
baby eagles. Yeah,
walking on mission, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, you really do. It is true.
And for me, from the very beginning, I've said to Jerry, I don't ever want to get so confident in myself that I forget that I need the Lord in this, because it's ultimately about Him. It's not about the fitness. It's about spreading the gospel and sharing His love. So
yeah, and I would say that for anyone who does, as believers in a working environment with unbelievers, Jerry. What do you have a lot of opportunity to share? How do you view that side? Because I know you work with a lot of churches too, but how do you view that side of what you do? What's your thoughts when you're working with a client who doesn't know anything about the Lord?
So I've had a few opportunities to share, and actually a few clients have come to church.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just start a conversation, and one thing leads to another. It's like, oh, hey, I did that for this church, and something just as simple as that.
Is it just that simple, isn't it? Yeah. It's not really rocket science, is it?
No.
But you do have to have a listening ear, I think, when you're in marketplace ministry.
Yeah.
And I know I did that for like 5 years myself. And you just work really, really hard, do what you know to do, and then you just try to hear those moments where the door cracks open and you can share the gospel with them, or just show them the love of Christ even. Yeah.
So I got to meet a client probably about 8 months ago, and he actually said to me, I knew there was something different about Jerry. He doesn't have to tell me that he attended church or believed in the Lord. Like, you could tell there's something different about him, just the way he interacts with people.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
As we close this Go Moment today, I am reminded of something Pastor Mark said this past Sunday in service. And he made this comment. He said, the hope of Christ is in us. And so the hope of Christ should be seen. And when somebody sees the hope of Christ and they ask you the question, what's different about you, be ready to answer. So that's kind of what you're saying. They could see it in him. And you could minister to them because of what they saw. It's not always just in what we're saying out of our mouths. Right. It's also how we conduct ourselves in our business affairs and our approach to life, and how we talk about family, kids, and the fun that we have. I think sometimes, these two just love to laugh, and you really do. You're just awesome people. Love to be around you. You're always encouraging and always helping people wherever you can, and offering a reach out. And I sure appreciate you. Thanks for all you do here at Christian Life Center.
Absolutely.
You're the best, and we're so glad you're on that board and overseeing what we do here. It's an important part.
We love it. It's our home.
Yeah, it's your home, and you love all those kids. You make them laugh. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our Go Moment. We'll see you the first Thursday of June. God bless.